3 realistic requirements for the rearmament of democracies. A. The pursuit of peace through deterrence grounded in technological superiority. B. The robotization of military assets to minimize human exposure to risk. C. The avoidance of depressive war economy formulas by making security investments stimulating for the civilian industry via technological transfer. These requirements are rejected by idealist pacifism, which leads to a stance of incompatibility between butter and guns. The desire for peace is not to be criticized, but the risk of defeat for democracies and democratic capitalism is. I adhere to the realist doctrine that war is prevented by deterring the enemy, and to the principle of moral and technological superiority, namely, the socially distributed wealth of democratic capitalism as opposed to authoritarian models. Furthermore, I link superiority-based rearmament to the urgent need to reindustrialize the now largely outdated systems within democracies, recognizing a growing compatibility between guns and butter, driven by the imperative to robotize and futurize security tools. Recent intrusions by swarms of Russian drones in the Baltic region underscore the tangible shift toward the robotization of warfare. Cyber attacks targeting European air traffic confirm the emergence of a new domain of warfare. Disinformation campaigns conducted through multiple media channels reveal an intensification of conditioning techniques, that is, the use of psychology to conquer minds. This evolution in warfare tools cannot be countered with conventional military means. Above all, even in its early stages, this transformation grants the attacker an economic advantage. Defending against drones that cost only a few €1,000 requires deploying equipment and conducting missions worth millions. The Commission is currently preparing a new systemic defense concept, with an immediate focus on countering Russian drone incursions and cyber attacks. This entails a unified program for the joint development of assets and coordinated decisions regarding their deployment. I hope it gains approval from the European Council, as I see this step as a precursor to a second, the creation of a system I call Eurodome, a defensive dome capable of evolving, step by step, toward a fully integrated multi-domain defense capacity. That means orbital, anti-missile, anti-aircraft, naval and submarine, as well as terrestrial, yet of a new, interconnected kind. The key lies in building a unified European management system integrated with NATO Command and the US Golden Dome. From this foundation, a further integration can be developed among the multi-domain defensive domes of the G7 and compatible nations. At present, Europeans and Japanese possess only part of the technologies needed for full multi-domain defensive saturation and must acquire them from the United States. However, by 2035, they may be capable of producing these technologies independently, being less behind in this field than commonly assumed, thus generating both competitive stimulus and collaborative momentum with the American defense industry. In summary, I foresee a not-too-distant scenario of military and civilian industrial collaborations within the G7 area, with a preliminary estimated multiplier of 6 to 7 times the military investment reflected in the civilian market, both directly and indirectly through technology transfer. A new military doctrine will be needed to consolidate the mutually reinforcing relationship between butter and guns. A clarification will be needed to show that rearmament does not necessarily imply belligerence. Above all, a broader understanding is needed within democracies that peace achieved through deterrence based on technological superiority is a fundamental pillar of economic and financial confidence, the very confidence that drives investment and employment. Those who seek peace should reflect on the realistic means to achieve it.